Hi, I'm Lydia Martin, your host for Eye on St. Lucie. We have a terrific community partner in the Early Learning Coalition of St. Lucie County. Today, we will learn more about the services they provide for our community and learn about two of their upcoming community events. Then, we will shift gears and hear about another event hosted by St. Lucie Public Schools, the annual Giving Concert. All right, welcome. Eye on St. Lucie provides an opportunity for insight into our district and the community. And I'm so thrilled to be able to welcome our guest today, Mr. Tony Loop. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning. Can you start by telling our guests a little bit about what you do with the Early Learning Coalition of St. Lucie County?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. So I am the CEO of our organization. So I oversee a team of 25 employees that work with the child care providers and the parents and the community. So we administer the VPK program, Voluntary Pre-Kindergarten. That's probably our most popular or well-known program because it's free for all 4-year-olds. And our other main program is School Readiness, and that's a subsidized program where families that qualify based on their income, we will then subsidize or pay for a portion of their child care.
Okay, wonderful. So tell us a little bit more about some of the initiatives with the Early Learning Coalition.
Okay. Well, we're very fortunate to have a great partnership with the school district. So a lot of times what we do is because of information that we gather from the school district or concerns that they have with the incoming kindergartners. And so there's been some behavior issues or concerns that the school district has had with the incoming kindergartners. So about 1.5 to 2 years ago, we implemented a trauma-informed care and infant mental health pilot with the help of funding through Children's Services Council and a partnership with Tykes and Teens. And so what we do with that is we're actually working, we have 7 child care centers that a licensed therapist is working with those centers so that when children are acting out or having behavior concerns, we have someone right there to observe and work with them. And then they're working individually with those children and families if that additional support is needed. But just because they're in the 7 centers doesn't mean that they don't go out to others. So with our partnership, all we have to do is reach out to Tykes and Teens and let them know that there's another center that has some concerns. So they've worked at many centers throughout our community. So that's probably our biggest one that relates with the school district. But we also have an oral health initiative where child care centers are working with children from actually about 1 year old to entering kindergarten, where they're having the children brush their teeth and they're monitoring sugary snacks. And so they're really trying to teach the kids about the proper oral health that they should conduct.
And I know sometimes we forget about the importance of that, but if a child comes to school with a toothache, it's very difficult for them to focus and learn and listen to the teacher because they're in pain.
Right.
And so it's really important that we start that education early on with our students to make sure they know proper brushing techniques. So I'm so glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more about VPK? I know that's our parents have a lot of questions about that. Is it required? How do I get involved with that? How do I get my child, information registered for that?
Yeah, sure. So with VPK, because the V is voluntary, it is not mandated or required. It is voluntary, but it is a free program, absolutely free. So most of our child care providers offer a 3-hour program that follows a school year calendar generally. And so for those 3 hours, or whatever amount of hours the program is, because we do have some providers that offer a half-year program at 6 hours a day. But whatever the time frame of the program, it's absolutely free. So parents should not be paying for supplies, uniforms, anything at all. It's completely free. Now, if they want their child to attend that center for before and after care, there may be cost around that.
Okay.
So, and the children have to be 4 on or before September 1st. And if the child has a later birthday, and I always get confused with this, there's a February 1st date where the family can wait another year. So if they're going to hold their child back a year because they feel they're not ready, they could go the next year. But it's really just within that particular age time frame, and ideally the 4-year-old age. Now, we do also offer a VPK program that is for children that may have some disabilities, or they need some types of therapies, and a traditional classroom setting is not appropriate for them. And so with that, the family is entitled to approximately the $2,500 that we spend on VPK per child per year to go towards those therapies. But they have to reach out to us, and we can get them signed up. And those, we've seen a couple of children in our community take advantage of that, and it's really, it's there. So if the families are utilizing any of those types of services, they're best to reach out to us and see if we can connect with whoever they're using with their child.
And it's wonderful because we know the students that participate in VPK really tend to be more ready for kindergarten, and they've had the opportunity to socialize and learn what it's like to be in a classroom and have structure to their day. So we certainly encourage families to be able to participate in that great opportunity and service that you provide.
Definitely.
I noticed on your website, and I'll let the viewers know what your website is, www.elcslc.org, that you have a lot of information available to parents. I know there's tips, other links to other community agencies. Can you share with us some of the information that might be helpful to parents?
Yeah, so really that's what we wanted our website to be, is a resource for the parents and families and caregivers. So we recently just redesigned our website and launched that the end of August. So the website now is, the website currently is about a month old.
Okay.
And so we're excited about that. It's really a lot more user-friendly. And almost a year ago now, probably 10 months, we hired Sue Ellen Sanders as a community development manager. And she has really just taken off with that position and really been able to keep our website current. We also have Facebook and Twitter, so families can find all of those tips amongst any of those areas. But we are a partner with St Lucie Reads, so there's information on our website about reading and literacy. We also promote Vroom, VROOM. It's a free app for parents that all they have to do is put their child's first name and date of birth. So every day they'll get a little message to give them an activity to do with their child that's age appropriate. So literally from infancy, through into elementary school. So it's a great resource, free resource for families. And you'll find, or families will find, all kinds of resources like that on our website.
That's wonderful. I certainly invite them to explore that. I know that I got, lost in many of the different links, and takes you to other links that information that I wasn't aware of. And the Vroom app is great, especially when there's days off of school. Keeps kids active and engaged. And sometimes as parents we're struggling. It's so easy to put a child in front of a TV, or they want to get on their video games, but really taking the time to engage them in some sort of other activity is a great addition to the day, and knowing that it's provided for them is wonderful. So that's great that you mentioned that.
And just one other thing I want with the Vroom app and those little activities that they send out, they're literally like 1 to 2 minute activities. So it's not, I don't want parents to maybe be concerned that, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to do like an hour-long activity with my child. Hopefully they would want to do that, but it's really just little tidbits to do throughout the day. And especially for those parents that may be a stay-at-home parent with their child and they don't exactly know what to do or want to make sure that their child is enriched in learning in some way, it's perfect for them.
Wonderful. So I know that you have two big community events coming up this month in October.
Yes.
One of those is the Chamber Early Learning Business Symposium. Tell us about what that is.
So this is our second annual symposium. And last year we had a gentleman from the Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis come and talk about the importance of early education. And so this year, our guest speaker, keynote speaker, is Mark Wilson, who is the president of the Florida Chamber. And the Florida Chamber, they're very involved with early learning, and they understand the importance of early learning, because the children that are born today, now I've got to do the quick math in my head, I probably shouldn't have done that, is the workforce of what is that, 2037.
Okay.
So from anywhere from 2037 to 2041, depending on if they come right out of high school and go into the workforce, or if they go into a 4-year university program. So, but what we have to realize is that education starts at birth, and the brain development, 80% of the brain is developed by age 5, so, or 90%, I'm sorry, by age 5. So we want to make sure that the children have a solid, quality educational experience, before they get to school, and then hope that, or with our work, then the children are ready when they come to the public school system, to develop. But Mark will talk about, they have a Florida blueprint for 2030.
Okay.
And he'll be discussing that and how the Chamber understands the importance of early learning and how they get behind that, and hope that businesses will get behind the importance. So there's studies that show that back in the 60s they took two groups. One was placed in literally what I would call like just a babysitting service. The other was in a quality educational program. And the children that went through that quality educational program were more likely to have a job, own a home, have a savings account, not be incarcerated. So the information is there, the statistics is there.
Absolutely. So with the symposium, is this where the public can attend? Is it businesses that should be attending?
So it's completely open to the public.
Okay.
The Chamber, we partner with the St. Lucie Chamber of Commerce, and so you can go right to their website and purchase tickets. And it's for anyone in the community that has an interest in early learning. We would love to see business people there, because ultimately it's really about their workforce, their future workforce, and the pipeline for that, and how they can support initiatives around early learning.
So when and where is the Business Symposium this year?
So the Business Symposium is at Verano in the Tradition area, their clubhouse, and it is on Wednesday, October 16th, so just coming up real soon. Okay. And it's from 8:30 to 10:30.
Okay, wonderful. I'm looking forward to attending that this year.
Yeah. So the other thing that we'll do at the symposium after our keynote is we'll have a panel, which will be myself to talk about local initiatives around early education. We'll have Sean Boyle, the Director of Children's Services Council for St. Lucie County, and then also the superintendent to talk about what the school district is doing as well. So,
wonderful. Yeah. It's a really good partnership that we have in this community.
Yes.
So you have another event that's coming up, Kids Mania.
Yeah.
Sounds like a fun event. Tell our viewers what that's about.
Yeah, so that's, we wanted to have something in the south part of the county because we've had our Family Fun Fair for, I think this past year was our 14th year, up in Fort Pierce at the Lawnwood Stadium. So in conjunction and partnership with the city of Port St. Lucie, we will be holding Kid Mania at Minsky's Gym on Sunday, October 20th, from 1 to 4. And we have partners and sponsors with PNC Bank, and they're a big sponsor with our symposium as well. And then and they'll have their mobile learning unit there, so we're excited about that. Their mobile unit mobile learning unit travels throughout the United States. And it's down in Florida for a couple of weeks in the fall, so we were able to get, tie this into that schedule. And it gives the children an opportunity to walk through and pick potentially different careers and learn about that and dress up as someone that would be in a career. Like the easy ones are law enforcement, firefighters. They'll get to do those kinds of activities or learn about that. And then the school district is going to have a huge pavilion there with a lot of interactive games and activities for the children and families. And within the gym, we're going to have all kinds of informational booths and activities, but it's really for the community to understand what's out there. So a lot of nonprofits, our sister agencies within the community that we all work with children and families, they'll be there. We're encouraging them. So if there are any agencies, nonprofits out there that haven't signed up yet that want to, it's free space for them because we want to make sure that the families get that information. So there'll be a drum circle, which is really cool. If you haven't seen that, we had it at our our family fun fair. And there's going to be a couple soccer obstacle courses. There'll be a lot of books, free books for everyone, age appropriate, and or for the children, I should say, not just everyone. And let me see, I want to look at my list to make sure there wasn't anything else I forgot. A puppet show and a bike rodeo as well. So.
Wow, it does sound like it's going to be a lot of fun. Do families have to register? Is there a cost to attend?
It's absolutely free, and they don't have to register. Just come on out. We're expecting a large number of families to attend, and we're excited about it. And this will be our South County staple event in the fall. So we're last year we had a book giveaway that was a smaller activity, and we only had about, I think, 5 or 6 of our nonprofit agencies in the community with us, but we really wanted to do something to the level of our Fort Pierce event, so this, and separate them. So we're in the spring we do our family fun fair, and in the fall now we'll do Kid Mania, and fully anticipate that this will be an annual event going forward.
That's great. Can you remind our viewers one more time where and when the Kid Mania event is?
Yeah. So Minsky Gym, which is out in the Darwin Park or Darwin Square area, and it's Sunday, October 20th from 1 to 4.
Okay, wonderful. I know that we already have people talking about excited to attend that event again this year. So thank you so much for joining us today and sharing a little bit about the Early Learning Coalition and these great events that are coming up. We really appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Absolutely. That's all for this segment. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we will have Dr. Kevin Perry join us to talk about the Giving Concert.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
All right, welcome back to our next segment. We have a very special guest with us here today, Dr. Kevin Perry. So glad you could join us.
Good morning.
Good
Great
morning.
to be here with you.
Wonderful to have you here. Could you start by telling the viewers a little bit about what your role is here in St. Lucie Public Schools?
Yes, I am a part of the superintendent's cabinet. The cabinet is responsible for making decisions and giving directions to everything that happens as far as education is for our wonderful students here in St. Lucie Public Schools. In addition to that, I have to participate with many of our strategic partners in their events, such as the United Way or the Chamber of Commerce, the St. Lucie Commemorative Committee for Martin Luther King activities as well. So, you have that number 13 on your job description, but the main thing is that we help give decisions and guidance to everything that deals with instruction of our students. It could even mean that I may participate, fill in as a principal at a school because I carry principal certification. I may participate in interviews of administrators as well for those persons that may be coming to work in our school district. So it's a whole plethora of things that go into being a part of the superintendent's cabinet.
Absolutely. You certainly are a jack of all trades. We know that you are out and about in the community and involved in so many different events and so many different projects across our community. But one of those is the annual Giving Concert, and I know that's very dear to your heart. Can you tell us a little bit about the Giving Concert?
Well, we like to say that the Giving Concert is when we give the gift of music and the gift of song, which is a great unifier. We have been hearing so many years now that music is a universal language, but it is also a unifying universal language. And we live in a world where there is just so much need, there's so much devastation, that we're all looking for ways that we can help people in our community have a better life. And the Giving Concert is our way of helping our community. And oftentimes we're helping the students of our community, even some of those students that participate in the Giving Concert. It is our tool to give back to an organization that provides weekend meals for our students. It's a wonderful way for our community members to, first of all, support music in our school district, but also to help us support the need that is such a major part of our community as well.
So it sounds like this is really an opportunity for the community to support some of our needier families and students, but also get a wonderful evening out and listen to some great music.
That is exactly correct. You know, as I mentioned earlier, the need is enormous in St. Lucie County and the Treasure Coast. But when you can celebrate how we help out with music, and like I said, celebrate and support those students that are participating in the organizations that will be performing, but also help the greater need.
Wonderful. So when and where is the Giving Concert this month?
The Giving Concert will be on October 17th at Fort Pierce Central High School at 7 o'clock in the auditorium there.
Okay. And is there admission price to the event?
I'm glad you asked that question. When we think about admission prices, we usually think that there is a dollar figure attached to the admission. No, not for the Giving Concert. Remember, I told you that this is the gift that keeps on giving. So we give the gift of music, but what we ask the participants that come to hear the concert to do is bring some type of non-perishable item. And that is the cost of admission. Some kind of canned good or a package of beans or juice boxes, something like that. That's the price or the cost of admission for a wonderful concert that's going to feature some of our best choirs in middle school and high school on October 17th at Central High at 7 o'clock.
Okay, that sounds like a very great deal for our community, and we know that it's benefiting so many of those in need. So this is mainly a choral concert?
This is exactly a choral concert, and as I mentioned, it features some of our middle school choirs and our high school choruses.
Okay, so it's not just one school that's performing.
No, you actually have, I think, like 8 different schools that will be performing, and they'll have an opportunity to sing 2 numbers each that night of the concert. So you'll probably get about an hour and 10 minutes worth of music that night.
Wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit about how this idea came about?
Oh, yes. We have one of our fantastic graduates who's also one of our wonderful music teachers here in St. Lucie Public Schools, Dr. Rolanda Jones. She is actually the choral teacher now over at Dan McCarty Middle School. During the time that she re-entered our district because she took a couple of years off to finish her doctorate degree, she came up with this idea about how do we give back to our community? How do musicians, choirs give back? So she seeded the idea to some of her choral music instructor partners, and they all immediately jumped on board. And this was a way of helping the hunger crisis that's a part of St. Lucie County. The gift, again, that keeps on giving. Dr. Rolanda Jones and her colleagues were happy to come together and provide a concert of choral music so that we could give back to our community, again, with the price of admission, non-perishable item.
Wonderful. And you mentioned this is benefiting Grace Packs. Can you tell our viewers a little bit more about what Grace Packs is?
Grace Pack's mission is to provide weekly, weekend food packages for our students in need. It started in 2011-12 at Oak Hammock, and I think that year alone they gave out some 700 Grace Packs. The next year they gave out some 1,400 Grace Packs. But it has grown just from one school to all of our schools. We have so many families, so many students that are what we call food insecure. And it's defined as those that don't know where their next meal may come from. So we saw at Oak Hammock that many of the students were coming in on a Monday morning complaining of headaches, complaining of stomach aches, and it was really because they were hungry, not enough substance from the weekend. So this is how that project started and continues today in many of our schools. We know that there was a community engagement study done in 2013 that told us that 26.7% of our students were food insecure. That number totals to be somewhere around 16,500 students that are food insecure. But with Grace Packs, we have an opportunity to seed breakfast, lunch, and dinner items to those students on a weekend. Friday before they leave school, they bring the bag back on Monday, stop by again the next week so that they will have something for them and their families to eat through the weekends. And of course, we have seen that number of headaches and stomach aches diminish. As an educator, Ms. Martin, we know that when students don't feel good, when they're hungry, they don't learn their very best. They can't give their very all. So Grace Pack's strategic community partner, support with engagement, that helps students be better prepared to learn when they come to school.
Yeah, it's something our public maybe doesn't think about, coming to school hungry. It's hard to focus. You can't think about, your math lesson for the day or learn about, reading strategies if all you're thinking about is how hungry you are.
I think we have somewhere close to 40,000 students in St. Lucie, but when this number totals to be about 16,500 students that may be food insecure, that's a major percentage. And we have to do all we can to help those students be better prepared to learn once they get there, and what better way to help them with that than through the gift of music.
That's just incredible. And you also mentioned it's not just helping them, but it's also helping their families as well.
Very much so, because if the students are food insecure, that means their parents are too. That means their parents can't give them all the love and nurturing that they may need. So by bringing this Grace Pack home, it may lift a little bit of a burden for the entire family.
Right, they may have younger brothers and sisters who, for example, are not even in school yet and wouldn't have the opportunity to have a Grace Pack for their own.
And we know that many of our students have siblings. So again, the gift that keeps on giving.
Wonderful. Let's revisit just the time, the date, the location, what our viewers can expect if they come to the annual giving concert.
You will be at Fort Pierce Central High School on October 17th. Doors open around 6:15. There's 7 o'clock performance that features 8 of our choirs. You have the Singing Greyhounds from Lincoln Park Academy, that's the middle school choir, and the Rhapsody Show Choir. They're both under the direction of Mr. George Ramey, who's also one of St. Lucie Public Schools graduates. Then you have Bella Voce, which is the female women's choir from Port St. Lucie High School, and we're excited to have them because this program is a new program, about 2 years old. They're under the direction of Devon Hagans. Then Dr. Rolanda Jones, who is the founder of the Giving Concert, she's bringing her Dan McCarty treble choir, and the new addition this year, she's bringing a men's choir. About 25 middle school boys that are ready to sing, and they're going to set the stage on fire. At Fort Pierce Central, our host, Sine Nome, under the direction of Rachel Holloway, will be there. And Alapata Flats K-8 School, under the direction of William Cromer, another St. Lucie Public School graduate, will be there. Followed by the Westwood High School Concert Choir, under the direction of Don Mealy, again, a St. Lucie Public School graduate. The cool part about it is that all of those choirs will come together at the end of the show to do the grand finale. So it's something that you don't want to miss.
I know, just listening to it, I'm already excited and getting goosebumps, ready to attend that. I know I won't miss it.
It's always a great show. Many different genres of music, inspirational music, spirituals, patriotic music. There's something for every person that loves any form of music that will happen on that night with those choruses.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that information. I know our public is really excited about attending that again, especially those that have had the opportunity to attend in the past. I know that they'll be there as well. So thank you so much for coming on the show today. It's always a pleasure to talk with you, Dr. Perry. You always have so much great information to share. So thank you again.
It's been my pleasure, and we hope to see all of our community out on the 17th at Central, the gift that keeps on giving.
I'm Lydia Martin, and this is WLX-TV. On behalf of the station's team, I'd like to thank you for joining us today. That's all for this show, but we invite you to follow us, like us, and watch us on our social media outlets. And as always, keep your eye on St. Lucie.